Mic check. Cool, cool, cool.
Salako, you're cool, you know.
Baby, you a baddie. Baby, you a baddie.
Transport a little better than Maine. Get you fast and quick transport's the objective. It's my second tank burning without a crash. Transport Halo leaving Maine in 10 seconds. Number 24, up in here.
The hell happened over there?
Is that ours or theirs? I'm not seeing anything to indicate that, sir. Yep, go ahead and send it. Yep, shoot, shoot. Give me a second. Give me a second, I'll pick you up.
Hmm. Might be a problem.
Transfer helo got shot down by the enemy attack helicopter.
Yeah, I'm trying to get enough fucking rank for one of those myself, actually. I'm gonna deliver some supply.
Transfer the little bird is back on main. Catch a ride, little bird in main. What the hell happened to it?
Shot it down. He slapped up with his cock.
Enemy little bird approaching our defense point.
Yeah, little bird setting down. Off to the north-northeast. Bringing some supplies to Prologue. Can we get some smokes down on the point, please?
Transfer helo leaving main in 15 seconds.
Around the helipad on the defense point, please. If you want supplies, that is really something you would like to do.
You like spicy habanero peppers?
I do, actually.
Transfer helo leaving main.
They're nice, dude. Hell yeah. Habanero's got some good flavor to them, too.
Yeah. We got a spicy igloo for anybody who wants it.
Hot.
How do I know when the igloo is locked onto a helicopter? It tones. It's like boo. That's when you can fire. Yep. You hold left control. If it's a teammate, it won't lock on. Cool. So I can't even friendly fire by accident. Take it easy. Yep. Hey, little bird, I'm nearby if you can pick me up. Where? Just behind you in the town. Up on the hill northeast, native. Spotted. They just went back in between the tree lines back just there. On your left, running down the street towards you. Thanks for waiting. Are you guys taking shots? Yes, northeast. Oh, fuck. In the woods. Okay. I'm here.
Very new, very new. I like that. Flashbangs.
Hey, transport helo. Would you mind picking me up from the defense point on your way back? There's apparently fucking, yeah, I don't know. It just wouldn't let me back in my helicopter.
Some kind of vehicle front.
Super fast lock on and hit.
This vehicle sounds heavy. It's not that heavy. I'm wondering, did I see any A on them?
We got enemy anti-air south of Prologue, about a kilometer south of Prologue. I had a super fast lock on and couldn't react. I'll mark on map.
He for sure didn't. I don't think the other guy did either. I'm not thinking about it. Is that an M4? Or a CZ? Or could have been ACR. Something like that.
Catch your right, transport heli in main. Transport heli leaving in 10 seconds.
Is this the same map, bro?
Transport heli leaving.
It is. Okay. Friendly. He finna get blown the fuck up. Thought I heard something. All right. What the hell is that? Hmm.
How's Lena? Can you guys see on the inside?
Hey guys, I just dropped off. I think the Huey just swept it and landed first behind us. I just watched it land.
Lena looks mainly empty right now, from what I see. Roger that. Moving in. There might be a few rats, just be careful. Am I crazy or do I hear Huey or Prolong? Transport heli back in Maine, catch a ride. Yeah, killed their JLTV.
Whoever's delivering supplies, here, can you...
Hearing shots in the woods over there.
JLTV approaching from the south.
Yeah, from the south. Shots, where is over there? The south, south of Lena. Transport heli leaving in 10 seconds. Transport heli coming to Lena for pickup. Get an LZ on Lena for pickup to the next point.
Wait for me, I've been sniping all along. I'm kind of out to my position, please.
I think the driver that's JLTV coming into Lena. It's knocked out. I think it's knocked out. Come again, enemy what? Enemy JLTV. Distance, direction, distance from Lena. It's already inside, but I think it's dead. Yeah, I hit him with a rocket on those.
Break. Check map for element marked south of Lena. There's a heli that just dropped off.
There's somebody snapping at Lena. Enemy? Possibly from the forest?
Check them from that mountain. Just in the woods there.
Alright, you're clear to go for a pickup. Oh shit! Helicopter's down with Lena. Helicopter down. Fuck. There's an enemy sniper somewhere north. No, south.
If you guys would stop yapping, I'd fucking be able to figure out where he is by now.
Sniper down.
Ураган всем позывным. Нас атакуют в точке Лена.
Yo, KMJ, you gonna give us a ride over to Lena?
Another southern enemy vehicle approaching. Fuck, they heard me. How loud is the chat? Like, it's right next to me, I guess. But now I can hear his shot downhill. So, like, he was. I guess 30 meters is the shit.
Hey, catch you right.
Duck main, this is Omelette 3, requesting support on grid. 18484 north, 16324 east. How copy? Confirmed. Sending payload.
Yo, transfer the hell are you leaving soon? Get you right. Little bird, catch a ride.
Once said there's 40 people in this match, like on our team, and it took one person to capture the last Nina, which is absolutely ridiculous.
The hell are you leaving Maine?
Teams of one will not do anything.
That stolen enemy radio. They're not really talking.
Ураган всем позывным. Нас атакуют в точке Лена.
If anyone could do a pickup from Prologue, wants to rally there.
Duck main, this is Omelette 3, requesting bombing run on grid. 18700 north, 15408 east. Abort code. Delta, Delta, Delta. How copy? Confirmed. Payload set.
There's an incoming JLTV2 lane now.
It's better.
Yo, fabulous. I'm gonna drop everyone else. If you wanna go somewhere else, stay in the helicopter and tell me all to go. Where do you wanna go?
Let's move that out the way.
Hey, Blitz, do you mind if I catch a ride back to Mainwood?
Yo, Rip, I'll pick you up. Just get on the crossroads to your southeast.
So smooth.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you can get your eyes.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm gonna catch a ride with Blitz because he's already here. You can just head back to me and pick the others up.
So how do you know if you
Transport heli leaving in 10 seconds.
just got unlimited like lives?
Never mind, I'm back. Dude, I was down in the back here this whole time. Transport heli leaving main. Yeah, but when we took shots earlier, my guy went down. I'm not sure what happened. Give volley, Mars comp, get in, let's go. Yes, I got knocked out.
Full of JLTV right there.
Yeah, we could go a little bit further, head towards the
You guys, do you see the rock face? To the, let me see.
How long has that shit been there? Master of Dead, that sniper mark is cleared out.
Hey, how much does the AH-6 supply hold? Is it 1,000 or is it like 600 or 400? Like, is much more reasonable. Sorry, say again. Vehicle. I got it.
Is there a there is. I have to go pick me up a anti-armor. I'm like AK to me. Yeah, I think that's what that was.
That was absolutely. And he just gave up. Headed from Pomar to Lena for anyone that wants a ride. Hard.
Damn, if you give me. There's a JLTV shooting across the bay here.
Towards Prologue or away from or like on the other side?
Towards Igla.
Got it. Transfer the back in Maine? Jesus. I don't know. I'm trying to follow that. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Catch your ride. Catch your
That's
ride.
my estimated mark for JLTV.
Oh yeah, no, we're headed to Lena. Yo, transport alien mean if you're want to swing by Prologue and pick me up. That'd be cool. We'll do ETA 3 minutes. Anyway. Head to a LT. Wait a minute.
It is for now. Wait, what? Is rank lock? Why can't I?
right at that three-way dirt intersection.
Boys, they are in the wrong supplies here.
Did you get him?
Losing these fights like this.
Is anybody high enough rank and care to spawn a fucking boneless Apache off a good high? Just figured I'd ask. I'm just gonna keep it on TV. Can you please let us know ahead of time if there's anything like a JLTV or Bradley or an LAV? Okay, so maybe I might be bringing one supplies there. Fuck.
That's what helicopter standing by in Maine. Dude, about like 20 seconds ago. He might be moving, but he's definitely want to shoot you in here.
And it's not a friendly JLTV because I want to say we had one.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was definitely enemy.
He's right on my lane race marker on the map.
And they are.
Transfer head is
Or
gonna take you
even
guys to
like an ACR or something.
point east of Lena.
I think he held him right there. Oh, Master of Dead died.
Guys, catch your fire. I need to fill up my helicopter. Hilo is leaving soon. Get in.
I saw that. I don't want that RPG.
Well, there's your 600 supplies, boys. Use them wisely.
Thanks, Drip.
I'm gonna be bringing in a few more. I don't understand how he didn't, like, immediately shoot the shit out of me.
Eddie, he might be moving around up there, because I'm looking where the shots were
Delta
coming
main,
from.
this is Omelette 3, requesting bombing run on grid. 18411 north, 16300 east. Abort code. Delta Delta Delta, over. Confirmed. Head on set.
No. Guy came here for us, disappeared.
Nicky, did you see that guy?
Take that.
I mean, I could bring in an MI8 and the Fab 250s, but
Let's see him. We're out of the way. Not in the bumper. Yeah. He's well over 1,000 meters away.
I took that guy out. He was on the other side of
The Golden Air Spring on the JLTV. I don't know if I got him now. Nah, he backed off. Went out somewhere.
well, if you guys could get enough smoke down in front of that helipad there to hide me from the JLTV, then I can still deliver supplies. Which I'm gonna be in about a minute.
Transport heli is in main standing by. Get you right, guys. Get you right. We're going to Eagle. Come on, hop in. Let me know when you're close. I got a bunch of smokes. If you can land on
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm damn near almost there. Just start tossing them bitches.
Is he still up on the hill?
Yes. Guys, get in the helicopter.
Need to see how this looks.
I think I just sniped him from over 1,000 meters away inside of that.
Guys, I'm prologue. Get on. I'm gonna come pick you up. Get to the helipad. Guys, I'm prologue. I'm gonna pick you up. Get to the helipad.
Yeah, looks fine.
Could somebody place something that I could store supplies in over here?
Yeah, just tell me. Helicopter leaving me.
Alrighty.
If I get any closer to the trees, then I'll get fucking clobbered by that jail too.
Alright, will you?
Just want to make sure we're clear before we cross this bullshit. Okay.
So I can't build
What'd you see?
to put the supplies in because, well, as you can see, there
Hey.
are supplies here.
Yo,
See?
what?
Did you kill what you shot?
Yeah, I shot the truck. I was ranging my scope.
Kill what you shot?
Never mind, I can unlock a cobra. That is indeed a cobra.
I just got fucked by it.
I suppose it's time I leave.
Yeah, boogie on out, brother. Damn, more supplies.
As a wrecking ball.
JLT's shooting in Molina again. Follow my missile I just shot toward. JLT was headed upwards toward. Yeah, we're blinking at him here. I'm trying to launch rockets, but they don't have a 1,000-meter plus range. Yeah, he's 1,200 from me. I'm hitting with 458 APs here. Let's see if we get any more supplies, maybe.
Holy, I moved across the opening already. Holy, I moved across the opening already.
We now have enough supplies. What do I need to build so you can drop supplies from the helicopter?
Nothing. Turns out I can actually drop them from that spot by the trees. Bringing another load of them.
So, transfer's back in main. Hop in the transfer, little bird. I am staged and ready in case there's another, Cobra. Cobra's coming here, Joe. Transfer the heli leaving in 10 seconds.
Holy, that's an enemy vehicle crossing that road. Holy, that's an enemy vehicle crossing that road.
We drove that vehicle off the ridge. His vehicle is smoking.
Interesting. That was he shooting at just now.
Good shit. Lock on.
Do we still got eyes on that JLTV?
Bro, they fucking talk so much, bro. Can't hear anything. Bro, they fucking turning it back down to 30. That's crazy. It's actually crazy, bro.
Ah, shit. Yeah, cause somebody put a supply storage crate over here by the trees. Or, I think I just gotta get closer, actually. I don't know. We'll see.
I did take small arms far. Why am I echoing?
Just yap, 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 yap. By the time I hear the footsteps, I'm dead. It's crazy. Need to see what's my way out.
What if he gets time to actually assault the other outpost?
Okay.
MOllYWAHPED. Yeah, we gotta go there right now. Before he prepared the assault on.
Hitting me, bro.
Would it be even rides or only just in logistics?
If I can give a ride, I would, but I don't know if there's enough room.
Just kidding. Yeah. Just like one enemy east of Leon. 400 meters away.
Anyone at Prologue need a ride before I leave? Good talk. You boys okay here?
What up, brother?
Yeah, y'all good? Y'all staying here?
Yeah, we're just watching the flank for now until we can move up a little bit more.
All right.
Hell yeah. Let's get that fucker. Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it camp that we're going to? Not exactly.
We need a supply chopper. We need a supply chopper to lean over.
I need a gunner at main.
Yo, transport heading in main. Catch your right, guys. Catch your right. Don't
those guys and their whole little operation they got going. The hell is this place? Is this real? Shit, wide ass open too. What, it's got mines and shit up here.
Two bogeys down, middle of the field.
Yep, my Fab 250 blew me up in the air.
Got him.
Protea's gonna leave main soon. So, Master of Dread, No Fizz, Stabby, you guys, you're south clear. Can I bring guys to you?
Yeah, you can drop, but it's a little bit special here.
I'll just drop them north of you then. Heli leaving main. Catch your right. Catch your right.
Where you at?
Tony, get in. Nikki, Tony, get in, get in, get in. Nikki, get in.
A little bit high.
Does this just have a minigun on it? Raj, I got missiles and is that Cobra ours? No, I don't see anything over Lena right now.
Said careful, man. You're flying really low.
Alright, eyes open. You're all good, man. I'm still figuring out how to shoot this thing anyway, but
Friendlies.
Roger that. Friendly Overwatch team on the west side. Over.
He immediately started moving.
They're at that base. I see one that just spawned in. Just trying to gauge the distance.
respect it. What's his name? Aimless. Man. We're gonna do, Mr. Nameless. Go ahead and dump this. And personal. The cost of war. Just the cost of war. That's all.
That's wild, because I'm looking at leader right now. Negative, friendly Cobra, friendly Cobra. Just kidding, friendly. Yeah, I'm out, I'm out. Alright, where did you guys want those supplies? In Wyoming or Illinois? So I know where to detour. Yeah, that was weird. I was looking at Lena, shot the missiles, didn't see any of them. Got it. Got it. Friendly Overwatch team moving up into the base, over. Make sure you guys watch your approach vectors. Passing by over through this crossroad here, I'll mark.
Recon has eyes over Igloo. We're good to push in.
Well, that was about as much fucking suppressing fire as I feel like doing right now, so I'll be back, I guess.
Yeah, for some reason it's still shooting for me.
And they really marked it up.
Do you know how to enable the laser rangefinder?
Yeah, mouse and keyboard should be Charlie.
Hey! Fucking vehicle's gone. Come on, man.
Anybody know how to do it on controller? I mean, it should be in your settings and controls. It might even just need to be key.
Dude got hit in the head and just ate it.
Transport heli 8 main. The
Making sure to double tap.
Transworld Heli leaving main. Roger that. I'm grabbing an igloo and then hopping aboard. Over. I'll be taking you guys to southeast of Lena.
Can we... Alright, you guys want this at Illinois? Last call for the supplies. Illinois or Wyoming, please?
Go to Wyoming. You can put it wherever. You're just trying to get rank, really. We can take the supplies and the choppers farther up a lot easier.
Yeah, it's too late. I got annihilated right there on the road where I was, wherever I just died last. There's an enemy BTR or some kind of BMP, something right there just lit me the fuck up.
Anybody know how I reload the gun on this? The 12.7? Oh, never mind. It's reloaded.
Yeah, it takes just a minute usually.
Russia did something to the roads down here. Like way past there. Some guy's truck just blew up on them. It's like way past there. It's way close to them.
That's quite some travel time. Let's go for it. How much? 7 what? 40 something? 60 something? Shit. I'd rather it fall short.
Apparently if you look at the map, your collective goes back to idle and you go up.
Yeah, if you set your thing to, if you set your collective control to a sticky, it won't do that anymore. It'll stay at whatever your last thing was, even if you go unconscious.
Shit. That was a hit. He should have died right there. He literally bled. That's crazy.
Is this like a secret hidden bot on here? Hello? Oh, yes, good. You were. Did I kill you? I'll repeat it.
Well, they're dead. That's what I thought. Can't just keep shooting like that. Not hitting shit.
Attacking on Lena.
Hello, boys, hello. I just killed the 5 guys that are sniping at Ilsnos.
It's one man.
I knew I chopped you off there for a good reason. Can you say Illinois again, please? Clear a pad at Illinois, please. Coming down in. For Atlanta. Supplies, give us a few seconds. I can take the little Russian pad right there. Yeah, I'm trolling. I'm not even there. I don't know who's there.
Yo, if anyone in a heli's trying to bring supplies to Entree, they have someone with like javelins camping. I tried to land there and he missed his javelin. I'm not landing.
If you were sniping into Igla, I got your killer.
Guys, I got killed. There is one more there. Watch out. Shoot.
There's more of them. I have any friendlies this way?
Sorry, friendlies. Didn't mean to fucking send 1.5 million tracers past your face.
You almost got me.
What? Whoa, dude. I was really trying to find out if you were a friendly or not for a second there. You gotta let me know where you're at all times, bro.
Requesting a heli pickup at main base, over. Let's take me to Igla. Let's keep fucking them up. I killed 2 of them when I just went down there last time.
Give you an X experience, bro.
Transport pilot's been busy dying to friendly tracers going to his fucking face. I'm back in Maine. Catch your ride. Transport heli in Maine. Catch your ride, guys. It's gonna be better than spawning anywhere else.
Roger that, on the way.
I'll be taking this one to Igla. This one goes to Igla. Just make sure the north side of Igla is clear.
If you wait a minute for me to rearm, then I can get you an escort up to there.
I'll wait for you, Big Daddy. Just
Who the fuck is that?
RIP, we're waiting on your call. You'll be the lead.
I'm hopping in, turn on chopper now.
Come by. You're going west.
Catch up, Norris.
Should I go on my own?
You're good, I'm right behind you.
Okay. Oh shit, that was not you. Sorry, my bad. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna enable me.
You're good, go ahead. This thing is a lot faster than that. Sure.
When you drop us, get ready for
Yep. Knew I fucked up as soon as I shot. Didn't realize I had no ammo on the mag. It's beyond me that we don't have supply on the point.
Yeah, I need that suppressing fire right about now. Beautiful. Good guns.
Hey, where's that friendly go, bro?
Just returning from base after rearming.
You're not in the air above Lena.
Negative. We're leaving Mom now. Be on station now.
Like, yo,
Why you got a car brand new?
Did we just get ranked?
no way, that shit says 200 in front of my face right now.
Transfer returning home.
Where's south? What are you saying, bro? Okay, well, get out.
Компас 4-4-2. Это ураган. Вам присвоено звание младший сержант. Продолжайте в том же духе, товарищ. Конец связи.
Very few. Do we need support in Lena? Do we need support in Lena?
Possibly. What?
Ураган всем позывным.
Bro.
Нас атакуют в точке Лена.
Oh, what are we doing? I feel like it's really just a bunch of Europeans playing. And like 5 Americans on the chat. On the radio. Yeah, I think they're just not really meshing together like that. Hey, Ion, you mind not leaving me? I'm coming to the road now. Let's stay where you are. Stay where you're at. That's not good.
Ураган Санта-Фе. Нас атакует ночью Лена.
That's not friendly. They're useless, bro. Shouldn't even have to turn my attention to this dude on my right. He's literally between us.
Yeah, he's still alive. Hold on.
Then he just sits back and does nothing. North. didn't get my shit this time.
You got a GLTV just pulling up each side right now. Over.
Transport vehicle available at the main spawn. I repeat, transport vehicle available at the main spawn. We'll be leaving T-minus 30. If you want to go, hop in. ETA 10 seconds. The transport vehicle is not to get left behind. Alright, transport vehicle out.
Yeah, no, I can hear you guys. I'm on too. Let's see how
Компас 4-2. Это ураган. Вам присвоено звание сержанта. Как держать? Нет связи. Ураган всем позывным. Нас атакуют в точке Лена.
team is not the brightest, man. I'm gonna get out of there. I'll lose my mind. Everything else is dead this morning. I might have to switch. Might have to.
Everyone wants to get to the high places, but if you want to go high, you first have to go deep. These of spiritual warfare. We have, I think, all of his books on prayer. I was just telling him before the show that my 6-year-old is learning to pray from my wife reading your books.
It's incredible.
So you know that Dan Duvall's material has hit the house when you sit down for dinner and your 6-year-old begins to throw up smoke screens in the spirit while praying for God to bless our food. I was like, who taught you how to do this? And it's like, oh, we're going through the supernatural to throw up smoke screens at the house reading your books.
It's incredible.
So you know that Dan Duvall's material has hit the house when you sit down for dinner and your 6-year-old begins to throw up smoke screens in the spirit while praying for God to bless our food. I was like, who taught you how to do this? And it's like, oh, we're going through the supernatural prayer book by Dan Duvall. So she's going after it like, dude, advanced spiritual warfare. And it's like, finish praying and eat your chicken tenders. We got to move on. But the work you're doing is powerful. It's so good. It's cost you a lot. So I say this every show, but thank you for going through what you had to go through to write these books so that the rest of us could learn at your expense.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What are we talking about today, Jake?
Seems like we have quite a bit to talk about. You've talking about deliverance. You know, we kind of skipped over the idea of talking about Antarctica. I don't know if you want to talk about clones again.
I have one thing that I care about today, and it's Antarctica. That's all I care about.
Oh no!
All right, we need to go in Antarctica.
Oh my goodness!
Because something ain't right.
Shit.
Something ain't right, man.
I agree.
Thank you.
Something isn't right, and wow, this is really starting off the deep end, aren't we? We're just starting
straight there, yeah.
Inside of it.
Some people don't they can't handle the torque. We have to ease them into it. But with you, just
go right
kick you off without a parachute.
Most people are like, by the way, they just heard that and they were like, what is that? Like Antarctica? They don't think anything of it.
Can we just start with the Piri Reis map?
Sure.
All right. So the Piri Reis map was this document that they found from 1512, I think, where a guy actually drew a map of the world and included Antarctica on it. But they didn't allegedly find Antarctica until after that. What that suggests is our reality, based on history books and the Smithsonian view of history, is doctored, and there's likely something else going on. And that particular map indicates some real questionable things. You know, he has some pictures drawn on there indicating different kinds of creatures or things that would be found in different areas of the world, and we would call some of these like mythological creatures. Like, it's really an interesting historical document. I just say that to say this, you know, when we get into the subject of Antarctica, this whole thing is shrouded in mystery. There's a lot of things that just don't add up. And the truth is that when you look at Antarctica now, there's a multi-nation like treaty in place. And what you do have as far as public record, a whole lot of countries have bases that they call them research centers, right? But a whole bunch of countries have research centers all over the continent of Antarctica, different locations. So you have the US over here, Germans over here, Chinese over here. You know, some of those particular research centers are occupied all year round, some of them only seasonally. And they say, oh yeah, we're doing research. We're doing meteorological research. We're doing research on climates, and we're doing research on this one. You know, and my big question is, well, where's the papers? Like, if this is all public, like I haven't looked deeply into this, so I don't. Maybe they are putting out some scientific papers on their research, but there seems to be a cover story. In my opinion, it's a cover story. There's a lot more going on than meets the eye. Now, in my world, it's like all roads lead to Antarctica, because Antarctica, for the survivors that have been part of the government projects that were programmed with the underground bases and were put through all of this torture and trauma that's part of this secret world, dark projects, etc. A lot of them have experiences and memories that come out of Antarctica. I mean, I remember sitting down with a guy in Australia, and this wasn't even a client of mine. I just sat down with him and he said, why don't you minister to me a little bit? So I just did. I just ministered to this guy a little bit, and his father was, part of Pine Gap and some of the operations that happened over there in Australia, which was a U.S. base in Australia, but it was connected because Australia is very close to Antarctica. It's not like that far off. And so, but he was also part of that. There's always a generational thing. And next thing I know, I'm talking to a part that's relaying to me information about his experiences in Antarctica.
So like a fractured part.
It was yes, exactly. And so for the listeners that aren't caught up to that world, the Bible says that we are three-part being: spirit, soul, and body. 1 Thessalonians 5:23. In Psalm 23, it says, "The Lord is our shepherd; we shall not want. He makes us to lay down in green pastures, leads us beside still waters, restores our soul." I say, why would God restore the soul if the soul couldn't be broken? Isaiah 61, we can have a broken heart. God restores that thing too. The breaking of the soul produces soul fragments, and that is a product of dissociation. When we dissociate trauma, soul fragments result. Those soul fragments can carry memory, they can carry identity, they can be trained to do certain jobs. When there's severe dissociation in place, those soul fragments become alternate personalities. They can take the body, they can run missions, they can fully control the switches at the top. And so this guy had that. I mean, he had alternate personalities because he was part of some things, couldn't remember them all. And, one of the things that we found ourselves talking about was a coliseum underground in Antarctica, where there were, he was telling me, I was like, what? But there were certain things that were done in that coliseum that you wouldn't do in a normal coliseum. Creatures that you wouldn't find in a normal coliseum. And it's like, well, it's one more data point. But, through the years, it's been so common for me to find links to activity going on in Antarctica that I just include it in some of my prayers now. I reference the scientists in Antarctica, the activity in Antarctica, the quantum computers that they run in Antarctica that, are manipulating people and things all over the world in ways I don't understand fully. I mean, it's really intense. So there's definitely a cover story, and then there's more. I would say, from the information that I've been given from all of the people that I've served over the last 12 years, I'm probably pushing 15,000 hours at this point of one-on-one session work with people that are defected from every level of, just dark projects and super soldier programs and Illuminati and this and that, right? What I've gotten is, I would say the Germans believe that they have the superior presence in Antarctica. And what they are working with is really advanced technology that we don't understand. Like, we don't actually understand it. And, they're very confident in what they're working on, but they are being buffeted by supernatural forces. And, we happen to have a God who sits in the heavens and laughs as he holds his enemies in derision. Mm-hmm. No matter how good their technology gets, there's always something to frustrate them, and his name is Jesus. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so with that said, I have several opinions about Antarctica. We'll just park it at opinions because, your listeners are going to listen to me, and they're going to say, where's your proof? Well, my proof is oftentimes the fruit that manifests in a person's life as we resolve the trauma that is holding them back in areas through the power of Jesus Christ. So because God never heals based on a lie, if they are truly being, say, manipulated by a quantum computer sitting in an Antarctica base that they were programmed with, or that they were put through some kind of high-tech ritual in an underground facility there by, the Fourth Reich and Germans and whatever. And, we resolve that in the name of Jesus, and they get a breakthrough in their life. Suddenly they sleep better. Suddenly things work better. Suddenly their finances are not constricted the way they were before. Then I can say, well, then probably that information that God actioned on has validity. With that said, that's where we end up with a lot of, like, where's the proof? It's like change lives is the proof. That's the proof. Change lives. Do I have pictures? No one's inviting me. I haven't been invited to a Antarctica base. Like, I wish someone would at some point, because then I could say, I'll take a picture and put it on Taylor Welch podcast. So when I talk about it, people don't think I'm crazy. I'm like, just invite me, Germans or US, and let me take a picture.
Yeah.
But, it's like ridiculous, right? That's not going to happen today.
On the proof thing,
yeah,
I think it helps for folks to understand that, like, everything we know about quantum physics lacks proof as well. It's all theories, because we don't actually have, what we have is the same fruit that you're talking about. So how do we discover collective consciousness? How do we discover quantum entanglement? Same thing. When we do this 1,000 times, 900 times, we look at a response, we're like, oh, theory. And then that's collective quantum entanglement. Sometimes people who are so desperate for proof are really stuck in a glitching out Newtonian worlds where they need 2 + 2 = 4. And in quantum, it doesn't equal 4. It equals a random thing based on your intentions in the safe space. It happens enough times that it's proven through theory. So you're saying the same thing.
That's
you're
what
not
I'm
off
saying.
base.
Now, a few other line items, and then we'll jump off here and pick a direction to go in. I've had reported to me the access point to Hollow Earth. It seems like there's a major portal somewhere in Antarctica by which you can cross over realms, and you can find yourself moving into a Hollow Earth environment. And we could talk about Hollow Earth, because I do believe that the Bible says there's a lot of activity under the earth, even in its texts. Then also, obviously, craft, and then I also believe, for various reasons, that under the ice in Antarctica there is a preservation of a pre-Adamic civilization, and I think that. And that's my opinion. My opinion is the Antichrist kingdom, and what we've called the New World Order or global governance, is desiring to basically reinstate a pre-Adamic order. I would say the idea of a new Atlantis is the resurrection of a society governed by pre-Adamic technologies, which I believe are largely derived into other.
Jeez Louise.
And so I think that there's likely some operations in Antarctica to try to harvest or mine those secrets. And of course, we don't know anything about that. And that's not necessarily my information. Some of the research I've done, other people I've listened to, I think that is very reasonably true. So,
What a starting point.
Yeah. I was just going to add, there's a lot of people from even like the cloning episode and stuff that a lot of people were referring to what you're saying about Antarctica as like this program in the quantum computer. This is where a lot of people resonate the idea of the Winter Soldier from Captain America. And now whenever I watch movies, partially because of this show, I look at those movies and I go, how are you so pinpoint accurate that this person is acting exactly like an SRA victim? And people in the comments all over the place are like, "Oh, this is where they probably got the idea for the Winter Soldier." Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the Winter Soldier, or did you ever see Captain America: Civil War?
Dude, I saw everything in the Marvel universe.
Remember in Civil War, Bucky's trying to come back to normalcy, and then he gets reprogrammed by the German hijackers. That, or if you want to see it more explained, I think Nathan Mills does a good job of that too.
Yeah, or just read a psychology. The idea is like a clinical. People have it all the time. This morning about, have you seen the show?
I've seen it marketed to me. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay,
but I
so
know a little bit about it.
It's a little fringe, so I wouldn't recommend it for people. If you're like, yeah, dude, I'm getting free from, dissociative disorder, don't watch it. But I was talking with him because these guys invented technology that can sever the work brain from the civilian brain based on, I think magnets and stuff. And Lars was like, we can do that now, right? He's like a kinesiologist guy, and I was like, yeah, there are people who have gone through that procedure and experiment right now.
Absolutely. I mean,
I never know what to expect with you, Dan.
Why was my G up, my grenade out?
you were in the military on this base from, in 2002 to 2004. For just playing cards and being pretty bored. It's like,
Anyway. Wow. Okay, so
yeah, you mentioned Hollow Earth, so if you want to go there, I know a lot of people are interested in that.
So let's kind of go into maybe this from a hierarchy standpoint, because last time we talked about the different domains. We talked about Ring Kingdom and Hollow Earth and all these different things. You seem to have a lot of understanding around almost like networks of different spirits that sit on the councils. And I think you have a book out, or maybe it's a YouTube video on how to challenge evil councils. Can you kind of talk about how does
is not something that's original to the Kingdom of Darkness. In fact, in Psalm 82, you have a divine council, the council of the Elohim, and God is not a narcissist. Like some people think, we want to worship a God because he wants us to worship him because he's a narcissist. He just wants us to and we actually derive life as we worship the God that is our creator. Grace, his mercy, all of and priesthood. But he's a good God, and he actually raises up sons to govern with him. So one of the things that you see in the Old Testament is that God actually will put a council in place, and if they're doing the wrong thing, he rebukes them. That's what you see in Psalm 82. But the idea is that God will actually allow others to think. He's like, I didn't just give you a mind so you could hear my thoughts. You get to think too. You get to take action too. You get to have responsibility as well. And when God sets up a governing body under his thing, he'll give them an allocation of authority. So even in the earth, when you have a council of churches or whatever, they have an allocation of authority to, shepherd over the lives of the children of God and various kinds of good works and outreaches and all kinds of things. But
what the fuck?
That power structure is a spiritual. So when you have councils, there is spiritual authority associated with the council. The kingdom of that, so it's a repeat and sabotage, counterfeit. So they have their own councils, and a lot of times you may have certain things going on in the earth, but sitting behind that, a spiritual council is making decisions. some of those councils in the kingdom of darkness are actual fallen angels in spirit.
Zombie,
Some of those
zombie.
councils in the kingdom of darkness are people that have been given those positions of power. One of the things that we concluded is when a person has an area of their life that's been either covenanted or contracted under the jurisdiction of an evil spiritual council, they may have a lot of sabotage, targeting, spiritual activity following them in their lives. And it's very hard to get out from under that because it's not just a demon that's attacking them because they have an open door. There's actually a government sitting on top of that spiritual activity. And when we started ministering to targeted individuals, we really had a hard time because it's like, well, we want to do this deliverance tool, or maybe we renounce this demon or this. It's just like, you know, dealing with the singular. It wasn't doing much. Like I had years of targeted individuals the way I wanted to. By the time we got to the third book, Extreme Prayers to Shake Heaven and Earth, I had begun to understood councils and governmental so it's like, well, is this area of conflict in your life that's leading to the targeting by frequency or getting followed around by cars or craft or whatever, like the weird stuff that you can't stop? What is the council?
Oh.
And sometimes it would be something
What was that?
It's like, well, actually, this is an evil council in DARPA, or this is an evil council working in a 3-letter agency, or it's like, oh, that's understandable. Or sometimes it was a spiritual council, like of the spirits, or some kind of group of entities.
O cara aqui no sul, aqui, ó, embaixo na casa aqui, Titó, vem na casa aí que você entrou lá, acho.
Freedom from evil councils, and we applied that to the council. The person.
That's annoying.
Tem fora aí na posição 4.
Now, I guess tying that to some of the other stuff, you know, when people have hidden history that they've dissociated, connecting them to areas of the or Antarctica, you know, or any of these hidden realms, even on planets left, like they can end up under the government of councils they exist.
Stupid ass game keeps giving me fucking shotgun.
To address that, we start seeing breakthroughs, but that also provides evidence that these realms.
Why can't I walk through this?
In other words, if we're coming against a council of 9 that sits in a hollow earth realm, and it's like a council of Nephilim, and it's like, wait a minute, that prayer worked. You just got freedom. Well, then that would be the evidence that there is actually Nephilim in hollow earth, and this person was somehow trapped. Found in Extreme Prayers that Shake Heaven and Earth, but
bro, they keep giving me this shot.
A list of legalities.
I don't want this shot here.
We're separating the person from the council existence as the council. We're basically quantum entanglements with that council. We're separating documents, paperwork, contracts. We're giving back.
What?
Sometimes spiritual stuff that they have. We have to return all of that.
How did he?
On the bus, dragging out.
Sometimes it connects to agreements that were made on their behalf.
We still up top.
Claims, sponsorships, affiliations.
You go over that edge and you got him.
Roman, above you.
There's a long list of that kind of stuff that we have to address. I mean,
Dickheads over here.
But do you have an example of something that comes to mind where it's like
I mean, okay, so for instance, I mean, this has happened more than once, but like, we've had to address councils of pre-Adamic tribes. So I would say that there are several bloodlines that draw
This gun.
which would include the
This
Pleiadians,
it's crazy.
the elves.
Can't even aim the gun.
There's a whole list. Realize like these things were actually around before Adam goes in the garden, and so like a Pleiadian council. This kind of person will be an entity. They'll have memories of being around beings. They call them Pleiadians. They'll have messages being put in their head. They'll have targeting frequency, harassment, other things going on in their life. They say, I'm being harassed by the Pleiadians, Danny. And I'll say, okay, are these assignments against your life being overseen by a Pleiadian council? They manifest, like physically, the whole body just goes, oh man, the Pleiadian council. I mean, there may be some people listening to me talk about it.
Ain't kitchen.
I'm saying Pleiadian council on this podcast, they're manifesting because we just hit the red button.
Get outside.
Ridemovement.com, we got your back.
Gotta push through your spawn.
We have a deliverance portal. Like, people can get this prayer for free.
I've seen people a lot of times can't wait to see the show and I started manifesting and they're trying to figure out what to do. So.
Deliverance.bridemovement.com. We don't even keep the data. We don't mark it.
You can tell his gameplay is much smoother than mine.
Like so I say, okay,
Like
let's
I have.
go after the Pleiadian council.
And he's
So I'll
setting.
take
Oh wait,
whatever
wait a
time
minute.
I'm going live on site A. It'll be probably a pretty big slog to get through that prayer resource because it's like intensely contested. At the end of it, the report is this stopped, that stopped, this isn't going on, I have peace in this area of my life, like the abductions from these people stopped, like the whole thing got shut down. We have stopped a lot of abduction attempts with that prayer, specifically regarding some of these groups that people would say are aliens. And I'm not contending that they all are what they say they are. What I'm saying is people have experiences with Greys and Nordics and reptilians and stuff. Like people are actually having these encounters. And whatever they are, and we could talk more about that, like origin stuff.
Jeez. Oh wow. Wow. It actually feels like a game.
If they find the name of Jesus and begin to use it, they
Oh, you can change the settings.
So they realize they're trying to cry out to the name of Jesus and it shuts it down. But the reality is, behind the scenes, what they're not saying to everybody, but I'm hearing all the time, is it doesn't mean it stops it forever. They'll come back a week until you stop fighting. And what gets them to stop trying is often going
GG12.
all of those legal rights or whatever they were claiming, which often actually have to do with maybe we could even connect this to the body of Christ. But like a lot of the legal rights they're claiming are bloodline, blood, and genetics that they claim as theirs.
This one's outside. You got his ass.
I had to understand at a certain point. Like, why would someone have a problem with the Pleiadians? Like, what did they have to do with the human on this earth? And it's like, well, Holy Spirit, what are the legal rights? And it's like, well, they're claiming that there's markers. Well, what do you mean by markers? Actual genetic code that is sitting in a human vessel.
You're gonna be swung to the right, to the right, to the right, right there in front of you, 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 in front of you.
Genetic code, even though that's pretty frivolous. Like he didn't
Where are
choose
you
that.
at?
It upholds in a certain way that they can keep coming and looking for that. So part of the renunciation of evil counsels is actually calling on the power of Jesus Christ to correct markers and genetics in the code of our DNA and essence that would
What is this
basically
guy
allow
talking
them
about?
access or that claim at all. That's one of the reasons also why it works. You know, one of the interesting things about what Jesus does in especially in the baptism, it says we've been given the baptism of regeneration. You know that word regeneration actually is basically regened. There is a regening that we gain access to in Christ Jesus, because what God is attaching to.
Maybe that's it. You pray into it, you ask Holy Spirit, you get these answers, you do it, and then you see the fruit of it. And that's why you're talking about this stuff.
That's
it's
why I'm
not
talking about
because you're a conspiracy theorist.
To heal his people, but it does produce fascinating conversations. Now, let me you have this concept called world trees. Are you guys familiar with that? World trees.
No.
So world trees show up all over the world in different belief systems. And I'm going to pick on two. Kabbalah and Islam. And usually world trees have some kind of creation story associated with them.
Yep.
Right? And world trees connect realms. And so you have
bomb is going live on
these,
Site A. Cover your sector.
World trees around the world, different belief systems, Hindu and like, native religions and South American stuff, and Yggdrasil specifically is like Norse mythology. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. Now, here's what you have. In Genesis 1, you have a statement, in the beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim, Shemayim Eretz. In the beginning, God creates the heavens and the earth. Right? And you had other guests come in and talk about this and talk about the gap theory. How do you get from that to Genesis 1:2? And the earth was Hayah, without form, and the Spirit of the Lord hovered over the waters. And so, you have two camps, largely. One that something happened. I happen to believe that something happened, and part of the reason why God did not create the earth. He didn't create it that way. So when we look at the word Hayah, the earth was Hayah, that word can mean became. Therefore, we have scriptural evidence to justify saying something happened. And so you actually have reason to argue for an old earth, an old universe, and a whole lot of hidden history. Now, I believe that it's that hidden history that actually reveals the environment where you're going to see the elves having a more pronounced role in earth history. Now, there are several points at which you're reading the Bible and you see statements and it's like, what the heck is going on? One of those is Jeremiah chapter 4, highly contested. This passage is about an invasion coming on Judah. And so you see the prophet, and he's prophesying about how Judah is going to be destroyed and this and that. There are these invaders coming. But then he breaks out around verse 22 or 23. And he starts talking about, I saw the earth, and it was formless and void. And, that statement in Jeremiah chapter 4 is completely about this invasion in Judah. You say, well, but why are we moving into a business tense conversation? To me, and people are free to disagree with this, I see God setting up a juxtaposition in that he's saying the judgment on Judah will be similar to this other thing. And a vision opens up and he sees earth. He sees the Genesis 1:2 earth. And he's like, this is what's coming to Judah. But let's take a glimpse at Genesis 1:2 earth. And one of the things that it says is all of the cities were broken down. What that means is if Jeremiah is in fact having a vision of the Genesis 2 earth, then pre-Genesis 1:2, there were cities. Now who did those cities belong to? Now this leads us into a whole other conversation, right? And I'm going to come back to world trees, but when you begin to look at ancient sites in the earth, like Göbekli Tepe or Karahan Tepe, both of these are found in the Middle East. They're dating to 9,000 to 10,000 BC, which is about 5,000 years before Adam would have walked the earth, according to the biblical narrative. You have layers
Bomb planted.
of
Reinforce Site B
like
immediately.
a temple structure buried by dirt, another layer built on top of it, buried by, this is Göbekli Tepe. Someone did this and even inscribed pictures of certain types of animals and fauna and things that would have been on the earth in this structure. Now, who's doing that? Fortified many temples, history at one point you have a temple to Venus and Mercury. Eventually the Christian churches begin to settle into the most ancient stone of the pregnant woman. It's a massive megalithic stone, the biggest in the world. That also dates like 4,000 or 5,000 years before Adam would have walked the earth. Like the oldest portions of that site. Why do you have all of these sites around the earth with all of this? And it's like, but how do you reconcile that to a biblical narrative, everything happening post-Adam? Answer, I don't think you have to. I think there is a pre-Adam earth, and I think that one of the things we haven't really opened the book on is, could some of the pre-Adam inhabitants of this earth have been creatures and beings that we call mythology today, like the elves? Because in the Yggdrasil world tree, you have a whole lot of stuff that sounds like nonsense.
There's one on the bottom of the metal stairs outside. Below you guys, below Young Jay. He's on the stairs.
Is the first thing, and from his like crown becomes the heavens, and you know, from his belly becomes this, and he like, so he falls apart.
He's got like,
into, the
dead
earth
ass right below my voice.
Really weird. You know, out of his armpit sweat comes giants. It's really weird. But nonetheless, it is a belief system, and from that you have all of these realms, the 9 realms that they talk about in Marvel movies. Thor, the whole thing, right? Thor's actually part of that. But you have Alfheim, Niflheim, Asgard. Asgard is the kingdom from which Odin rules as like the king of the gods. World tree. The world tree describes a creation account. It describes different realms interacting, and some of those realms involve
All units, Site B is now hot. Bomb active.
That's history. I mean, anyone can look into the you know, the accounts on Yggdrasil and realize these people believe in elves. You know who else believes in elves? The author of the Lord of the Rings series. Like, you know, and we're saying, oh, that's just mythology. Well, he sets them in an environment called Middle Earth. But they're ancient beings, even in his writings. So what we find is, I administer to a lot of people that have had bondage that they are pulling from actual elven genetics. I have talked to people that have met elves. I mean, and I actually had a gentleman on my podcast about how he went into portals in different areas of the earth. He perfected them, and in other environments, not necessarily on the same, he had himself encountered elves, light elves and dark elves.
I got one, Mom.
Which are referenced in this Yggdrasil cosmology. So, with that said, what I'm suggesting on all of this is, like, you know, I think that world trees, I throughout all these things, is not accurate history, but does reveal things that are history that we just don't understand how to place. And those things actually are still affecting the world that we live in now in ways we don't understand either.
Hey, real fast, if you haven't hopped into
Body
Kairos,
bomb.
it is our membership program where we go tactical. We really talk, utilize to the earth. If somebody comes deep dives, I will see.
This is your game now, bro.
Yeah. Somebody commented not too long ago. They were like, "Can you take a whole episode of vampires?" No, we're done with vampires. Now it's okay. We've moved on from vampires. Can you just tell me and define what you mean by elf? Because I read a lot of fantasy fiction. You're talking like, are these like the type of elves you see in like fantasy? Are you talking about a spiritual signature? 20 years, or what are we doing?
I think that the elves that we're referencing in these contexts are bipedal.
Can I keep this gun?
Looking beings.
Body bomb.
Hell yeah.
One team has a bomb.
easy.
The other has to
And
defuse it.
you know, like they're 6, 7 feet tall, maybe 5 feet tall at times, but they're like similar to what a human would look like, but they're not human. So, kind of like the way James did portray them. Not like Santa Claus, Christmas elf. Yeah, like Legolas, yeah.
Okay. And then what do you mean when you say the Greys and the Nordics? Are those just elves that are different?
No, no, I think that's completely separate. So I'm not 100% sure. I think that they fall in different categories, and that's where I would say there's a blend of stuff going on, and because I think that some of the things that we say are alien greys are actually like programmable life forms. So they're basically like robots that they engineer biologically, and they look like that, and they upload them with a program, and they're just like robots doing a task. And I think that's some of the things that people that have like abduction encounters like report. It's like, well, they were just like robots. They didn't really have a soul. But I've also had people with encounters with greys that were very much like they had a soul. But I've had their soul parts taken out of their human body and placed in, we kind of got into this with the clone episode, other bodies. Not all those bodies are human looking bodies, and sometimes those other bodies look like the alien gray body. So I think that there are occasions where
Who's dropping the bomb and not saying anything?
I think is an alien gray may be a soul part of a human being sitting in a body that looks like that, that's been engineered. Do I think there's an alien gray race that has a planet that sits somewhere in outer space? To me, I don't know. I think it's a supremely convoluted conversation based on the data points I've been wrestling through. Nordics seem to be some kind of group that have, their agenda.
In the hallway?
I have a lot
In the
to
hallway.
say about them, other than we've run into them.
Standing in a window, running away from you.
We've had to get people delivered of Nordics, and they've been delivered, and that was peace. So they're bad guys.
One downstairs, opposite corner of you.
There are other civilizations on different planets. Like, is the human race kind of on just planet Earth?
So, my opinion is yes. I do believe that there is a vast creation. Creation is very old, and Earth was inhabited before Adam by different things. I believe that other planets and star systems have also had inhabitation, and some of that has been
Bro, pull out the weapon,
wild
bro.
downfall. And I would include in that group specifically the Pleiadians, because the Pleiadians, that's anything to do with the star system that's called the Seven Sisters. Like that star system, the Pleiadians has a group that
Zone B, Zone B, Zone B, 2.
Part of a conspiracy against Yahweh God that is in collusion with Satan. Another group that I would include in that is the group that operates out of Orion. I would call them the Ancients. They have a very deep and entrenched history with what we know as ancient Egyptian culture. Horus, Isis, Osiris, Set, Nut, Anubis, Bastet. These guys, I would qualify as a group from Orion. And they were giving ancient Egypt a whole lot of their cosmology, their government. There was a lot of trade into that. That we clearly see depicted with, the hieroglyphs and all that stuff. But these also seems to be locked in this cosmic conspiracy against Yahweh God and a collusion as well. And I think that they actually have a realm in Orion, because this goes back to the word. We have had to get people delivered of these places, the Pleiades,
Hey,
Orion,
motherfuckers.
many times. In fact, when I first made our prayer resource called Freedom from Constellations, Orion and Pleiades, all day. So many people were entangled with those constellations. I didn't understand that. I was like, this is amazing. I've never heard of anyone getting delivered from a constellation before. Why would you need to do that? In a session, they said, I was walking down the street. This is classic stuff that I have to deal with. Like, You know, I was walking down the street. It's like, okay, and the ice cream truck pulled up, and you got an ice cream cone. Normal day. No, that didn't happen. The constellation climbed out.
They want to do the holy air and just got all the steps.
These people had to go there. And so, you know, we had to figure out, like, how do I get set free from a constellation? And so, you know, thank God Jesus is good, and he gave us the keys, and we started to use his prayer resource, freedom from constellations, and got people set free from all kinds of star signs, zodiac, you know, bondages connected to zodiac, because we realized that, you know, when people's lives are being governed by when we get them set free of those constellations behind the horoscopes, their lives desynchronized from these counterfeit timelines. It was crazy, but Pleiades Orion, things kept coming up. We kept getting stories about soul parts that were pulled out of body, put on
Let's go, guys. 7 floors on B.
To these realms. So I'm constantly finding, like, okay, Jesus, well, where are the soul parts that the kingdom of darkness is hostage? Orion Pleiades. And we're having to go to these locations in the spirit world with Jesus.
Turn on. You
soul
see.
parts, spirit fragments out of dungeons and prisons and laboratories and glass containers, all kinds of stuff. And people are getting set free. They can sleep, and now their finances are working, and now their health is coming back. And so we're getting all of the fruit of deliverance. And I realized, like, well, that's because these evil groups that are locked conspiracy against you, but their operations are anchored to human lives. And so we are actually, the humanity is sitting at the cross-section of a cosmic conspiracy and war against Yahweh God. And God is actually leveraging his redemptive plan through man at the same time. So we're sitting at the center, essentially, of a cosmic conflict.
I also think that there are, so we talked about the ancients, the seven sisters, those are both, but there seems to be
we fucked them up.
Because who does that? So Judges 5:19. The kings of Canaan came and fought at Tanakh near Megiddo Springs, but they carried off their silver treasures. Verse 10. The stars fought in heaven. The stars in their orbit fought against them. The Kishon River swept them away, that ancient torrent. Like, okay, there's things that, like, are involving themselves in different facets of life. I started studying a couple months ago the Earth itself fighting against certain things. Yes, and the Earth seems to have like an entity, almost, where it will follow why was it personified when Paul is saying all creation basically is begging for the return of the Son of God. And it involves itself from time to time.
Behold, I have called heaven and earth as a witness.
Two underneath you there, GG's. They're coming around. Watch them. They're a bunch of.
You can't be a witness if you have no sentience or consciousness. You can be evidence. Come on.
Bombs live at Side Alpha. Don't let it fall.
Sorry, quick, pull it back. I have to leave. Okay, cool. This is fascinating. Keep going.
So I wanted to ask, with the, first of all, it's kind of a constellations, and then the other two questions are, is before they came into this world that's causing that for them?
All of the above.
Oh, great.
All of the above. I know, it's a complicated mess. So when you have ancestral worship of the stars, and this is something that's really big. Like when I went to Australia, I didn't realize that the indigenous religion was heavily connected to Pleiades, the worship of the seven sisters. So the indigenous people are doing all kinds of activity with that particular star system in Australia. That's a fact.
I'm
Right.
heading
So
into
when
you
you have
on B.
iniquity on your bloodline from the worship of stars and the engagement of constellation in an unholy way, do not worship the stars. Well, that opens a legal right, and you inherit that because you're born into that bloodline, and so that may be a path. But if you yourself
Might have just down that guy.
will do it. Some people inadvertently open the door through something they think is harmless, like horoscope. So you say, well, I'm a Cancer, so I read a Cancer horoscope every day, and that's guiding my life. You're anchoring your life to a counterfeit timeline. What you want to do is seek Jesus and Holy Spirit for what your life should be mapping to, not a horoscope. So that is opening the door to an entanglement in the spirit world to something like this. So
Oh, it's one guy.
that's ever practiced horoscope might want to try our prayer, Freedom from Constellations, for the constellation that you've been searching up horoscope on, and see what happens, because it's almost mandatory you're going to get a breakthrough. And you know, if you come from a line of people and they were really heavy into worship of stars and different things like that, okay, well, let's visit and let's consider the possibility that you've inherited some of that bondage. Let's see what this prayer resource does.
What do you say to people? I want to hear your answer first, and then I have thoughts if we need to. But people will comment. We'll post pictures, and those comments are the best. One person in particular caught my attention because they were like, "This person doesn't understand anything about spiritual warfare. All they need is Jesus." What are your thoughts on that? Because there seems to be a camp of deliverance ministers who to the perfect solution of Jesus, and I don't think that's what you're doing, but can you speak to that real fast?
Let me talk about Jesus. And Jesus is fully God. So if you really want to understand the scope of what Jesus is doing, you have to look at the whole story of Jesus. Number one, he is the Word in flesh. So Jesus is the Son.
What?
But as God, and
He's still in the spawn, boys.
who was slain from the foundation of the world. You know when the Bible says in Revelation 13 that Jesus is a lamb slain from the foundation is the Greek word cosmos. It's not that he was slain from the foundation of the earth. Very important. It's that he was slain from the foundation of creation. And a pre-Luciferian rebellion. Slain. He already knew the whole story and requirement, counted the cost and paid the price, and hid it for all of the ages prior to his incarnation as the Christ. So you have Jesus, who is God, the Word, pre-existing, self-existing through all of creation as the Lamb slain. We go through a Luciferian rebellion. We go through the fall of man. The whole creation groans as a result of what has come upon creation since its establishment. And there is a Savior and a Redeemer, and his name is Jesus. His objective is not isolated to reconciling man to God. And that's, I think, where a lot of people, they get a very minimized view of who Jesus is. And that's because they don't understand his God. Revelation 5. But when Jesus comes as a man,
And then we get to
something
the
else. He gets a body. He gets a body. And I'm going to ask you a question because I know you know the right answer. How many bodies does Jesus get?
One.
One. He only gets one body. He doesn't have one body for this and one body for that. He has one body. So
Body
the
bomb.
body
One
of
team has a
Jesus
bomb. The other has to
is
defuse it.
received at an appointed time. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 10, it says, you know, the sacrifice of bulls and goats, that blood, you did not want, but a body you've prepared for me. So he gets a body at an appointed time.
Went upstairs on Catwalk Crossing
He
to
has
B-side.
counted the cost of a cosmic conflict he needs to reconcile from the beginning of creation. So he takes a body as a man at an appointed time. The body that was in Mary's womb is the same body that died on the cross. Is the same body that went to the grave for 3 days and 3 nights. It's the same body that was resurrected. Is the same body that ascended to heaven in a cloud. Now, no one disagrees with that, right? That
Oh.
is the same body that ascended far above all heavens. Is the same body that sat down at the
All
right hand
units,
of the
be
Father.
advised. Bomb is
Is
active
the
at
same
Site B.
body that is established on the throne of David until all of his enemies are made his footstool. It is the same body that is the head of the who fills all and is all. Is the same body that we are baptized into, because there is one faith, one body, and one baptism. So there is many members, but one body. So the body of Jesus that fills all and is all is a cosmic body.
It's crazy.
Check it out.
I don't know how old you are, but there's a chance you weren't alive when the original Painkiller came out in 2004. There's a chance.
And yes, I was alive in 2004. Yes, I will give you that much information. I was alive in 2004.
Okay, good comms, good comms.
I heard someone tell you that I was 40 the other day, and I saw you didn't rebuttal, so I assumed you disbelieved it.
Honestly, not be surprised if you were 40 years old. The only people who say great googly moogly are in their mid-30s for sure.
That's a hip, young term. And actually, Shroud, I'd like to rebuttal one more time. Great Googly Moogly is from a TikTok, only 2 years old. Great Googly Moogly, that thing is... Bomb planted at Site Alpha. So, how do you like that?
Yeah, that threw me for a spin. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
That's right. That peanut is 63. Chat, I'm actually 3 players
max. I don't know how old you are, but there's a chance you weren't alive when the original Painkiller came out in 2004. There's a chance.
And yes, I was alive in 2004. Yes, I will give you that much information. I was alive in 2004.
Okay, good comms, good comms.
I heard that and I saw
Correct.
you didn't rebuttal, so I assumed you disbelieved it.
Honestly, not be surprised if you're 40 years old. The only people who say great Google are in their mid-30s for sure.
That's a hip, young term. I'd like to rebuttal one more time. Great Googly Moogly is from a TikTok, 2 years old.
Whoa. Oh, you can. Oh. Get night vision and that thing?
Old you are, but there's a chance you weren't alive when the original Painkiller.
Please push me. Please push me. Aw, they're pussy.
Occupy Bravo.
Oh, that was the side room he was in. I didn't realize that was the same hallway. Really peeked out and like, oh shit, that's the same. Correct. How is he spawning there and getting himself? Oh, he's just watching the window. Okay, that's where he shoots from. Got it. Learned. Noted. Learned. Oh. Yikes.
All units, be advised. Bomb is active at Site A.
It's black. It's just stupid. Oh, yeah. Check on the server pop. Just still trash. I'm about to just call it. I'm just gonna call it.